Wave theory, problems on oblique incidence of plane wave over a dielectric surface. Series on electromagnetic field theory, lecture number 4.41. When a plane wave falls obliquely on the surface of a dielectric, partly it gets reflected, partly it gets transmitted while obeying Snell's laws of reflection and Snell's laws of refraction. The amount that gets reflected, it depends upon reflection quotient. The amount that gets transmitted, it depends upon transmission quotient. Reflection quotient and transmission quotient. These two, they are dependent upon dielectric constants of the media. In the present session, we focus on oblique incidence of wave over a dielectric surface, and our attention is in finding field components in the reflected wave, field components in the refracted wave. Before going to solve the problems, we consider certain algorithm illustrating the sequence of steps that are followed while solving the problems associated with oblique incidence of wave on dielectric surface. Usually, one or other field component of the incident wave is given, either electric field or magnetic field. In addition to that, epsilon 1, epsilon 2 are also given. Epsilon 1 is permittivity of the incident medium, epsilon 2 is permittivity of the refracting medium. From the expression of EI, electric, let us suppose electric vector is given, electric field in the incident wave is given. From its expression, we can find the direction of the electric field, EI cap, amplitude of the electric field in incident wave, EI, direction of propagation of the wave, that is B beta I cap, and magnitude of the propagation vector pertaining to incident wave, and also theta 1, angle of incidence. Of course, from theta 1, using Snell's laws, we can also find angle of reflection. Angle of reflection is equal to angle of incidence. So, in addition to that, polarization of the wave also can be known. Once theta 1 is known, that is angle of incidence is known, and epsilon 1, epsilon 2 are available. Using these three, one can also find out angle of refraction using Snell's laws. So, from the given data, all these pieces of information one can obtain, one can consider given. Now we consider reflected wave, and then we go for refracted wave. The direction of propagation of reflected wave, that is denoted by beta r cap, it can be obtained from beta I cap. Beta I cap is available, it is a vector, by reversing normal component, its normal component. It may have one or two components. One component that is normal to reflecting surface. That component, by changing its sign, beta I cap becomes beta r cap. Magnitude of beta r, propagation vector in the reflected wave, is same as magnitude of propagation vector in the incident wave. So beta r is known, beta r cap is known. So propagation vector is known. Now, first we consider perpendicularly polarized wave. Let us suppose the incident wave is perpendicularly polarized. Now we have to find out reflection quotient using this relation, sin theta 2 minus theta 1 by sin theta 2 plus theta 1. Theta 2 is angle of refraction, theta 1 is angle of incidence. Once the reflection quotient is known, direction of electric vector in the reflected wave, it is obtained from direction of electric vector in the incident wave. They are same, they remain same. Whereas amplitude of electric vector in the reflected wave is product of reflection quotient multiplied by amplitude of electric vector in the incident wave. So now we know amplitude, we know direction. So electric vector in the reflected wave is considered known. Direction of magnetic field in the reflected wave, it is obtained by crossing beta r cap with ER cap, and its amplitude can be obtained eta r by ER by eta 1. So E in the reflected wave, H in the reflected wave, both are now available. If the incident wave is parallelly polarized, one reflection quotient can be obtained from tan theta 2 minus theta 1 by tan theta 2 plus theta 1. Direction of magnetic field in the reflected wave, it is can be obtained from direction of magnetic field in incident wave. Its amplitude, of course, from the product of minus gamma HI. Direction of electric field in the reflected wave can be obtained by crossing unit vector which is already available, HR cap with beta R cap, and amplitude ER is theta 1 HR. So H is available now, E is also available. So reflected wave is completely known. Fields in the reflected wave is now known, either for the case of perpendicular polarization or for the case of parallel polarization. Now we consider refraction, refracted wave. The propagation vector or direction of propagation of the refracted wave, it can be obtained from refraction angle theta 2. Theta 2 already we computed, we can find using theta 1 angle of incidence and epsilon 1, epsilon 2. So theta 2 is known. Magnitude of propagation vector in the transmitted wave, beta t is epsilon 2 by epsilon 1 beta I. Now if the wave is perpendicularly polarized, then transmission quotient can be obtained, tau equal to 1 plus gamma, and direction of electric vector in the transmitted wave is direction of electric vector in the incident wave. From that relation, ET cap can be obtained. Amplitude of electric vector in the transmitted wave is transmission quotient multiplied by electric vector in the incident wave. The direction of magnetic field in the transmitted wave is, of course, cross between beta t cap with ET cap. Amplitude is 1 by eta 2 into ET. In case of parallel polarization, transmission quotient, it is 1 plus gamma cos theta 1 by cos theta 2. Note that reflection quotients and transmission quotients, they differ, they are different for different polarizations. They are polarization dependent. Now, direction of magnetic field in the transmitted wave is same as direction of magnetic field in the incident wave. And direction of electric field in the incident wave, it can be found by crossing HT cap with beta T cap. The amplitude of electric field in the transmitted wave is reflection quotient multiplied by EI, and amplitude of magnetic field in the transmission wave is ET by eta 2. So this is the sequence of steps one has to follow. Note here it involves so many relations, so many aspects pertaining to wave reflection and wave refraction. So all those things are required. Now we go to actual problems. Consider a uniform plane wave traveling in free space falling over a dielectric plane surface at y equal to 0 with a electric field vector. So electric field vector is given. Find the angles of incidence, reflection, and also angle of refraction when refracting medium has a dielectric constant of 4. Also find electric and magnetic field vectors in the reflected and transmitted waves. So this is most general situation. Now notice this is the case of parallel polarization. See, the wave is sketched here. See, direction of propagation, direction of electric vector. So using the piece of information that is available, one can sketch. When sketch, it appears like this. So notice EI is parallel to the plane of incidence. Therefore, it is case of parallel polarization. As the electric vector and the direction of propagation both are in the same plane, XY plane, it is a case of parallel polarization as shown in figure. Propagation direction of incident wave from the second part of the argument, that is here. From this piece, one can obtain as x cap plus root 2 y cap by root 3. And the angle of incidence by taking dot product between this vector and y cap can be found as theta I is cos inverse root 2 by root 3. It is 35.26 degrees. Angle of refraction is same as angle of reflection is the same as angle of incidence, and hence it is equal to 35.26 degrees. From Snell's law of refraction, angle of refraction can be found as theta t. Here, angle of incidence is indicated by theta I, angle of reflection is indicated by theta r, angle of transmission, angle of refraction is indicated by theta t. Using Snell's law of refraction, one can find theta t as 16.78 degrees. Now B. Reflected wave is reflection quotient times incident wave using the given values epsilon 1 equal to epsilon naught, epsilon 2 equal to 4 epsilon naught, and already available angles theta 1 equal to theta I, angle of incidence 35.26 degrees, theta 2 equal to theta T, refraction angle 16.78 degrees. Reflection quotient can be found using this somewhat complex looking expression. Substituting all these values, one can obtain reflection quotient as minus 0.26. Using available incident wave direction, the reflected wave direction can be written as x cap minus root 2 y cap by root 3. On reflection, as parallel component gets reversed, the electric vector in the reflected wave becomes minus root 2 x cap minus y cap. As the sign change on reflection is already incorporated, multiplication with magnitude of reflection quotient is sufficient to get reflected field. The value of phase shift constant remains same for reflected wave, hence electric field in the reflected wave becomes this one. Magnetic field in the reflected wave then is this one. See, E and H equal to eta. Using this principle, using this point, HR. Transmitted wave is a transmission quotient times incident wave. This quotient, transmission quotient, is ET by EI. So it is 1 plus ER by EI cos theta 1 by cos theta 2. Theta 1 is angle of incidence, theta 2 is angle of refraction. The substitution gives it as 0.63. Direction of refracted wave is x cap cos 16.78 degrees plus y cap sin 16.78 degrees. It gives a certain vector. From this, unit vector along the refracted electric field can be estimated as 0.29 x cap minus 0.96 y cap. The phase shift constant for transmitted wave is 2 pi root epsilon r2. Ultimately, it becomes 4 pi radians per meter. Hence, the transmitted wave field is ET is this one. Complex expression. Magnetic field in the transmitted wave then is HT equal to this one, and it is obtained from E by H equal to eta. That principle. Now we consider another problem. This is the problem where incident field is perpendicularly polarized. Consider a uniform plane wave traveling in free space falling over a dielectric plane surface at a y equal to 0 with a magnetic field vector. Here H is given. Find angles of incidence, reflection, and also angle of refraction when the refracting medium has a dielectric constant of 4. Find electric field in incident, reflected, and transmitted waves. Now, by watching keenly the expression for given field, one can notice that it is a case of perpendicular polarization. But one can sketch this diagram illustrating the incidence and reflection as well as refraction. Notice here electric vector. This is electric vector in incident wave. It is into the board. It is perpendicular to the plane of incidence. That's why it is perpendicularly polarized wave. Now solution process. As the magnetic vector and direction of propagation both are in the same plane, it is case of perpendicular polarization. The A, first we consider A. Here we are asked to find out angles of incidence, angle of reflection, and angle of refraction. A. The propagation direction of incident wave from the second part of the argument, from this part, it can be written as square root of 2 x cap plus y cap by root 3. And angle of incidence, it can be found equal to cos inverse 1 by root 3. It is 54.74 degrees. Angle of reflection is same as angle of incidence. Therefore, theta r is theta 1. Theta I is theta r. Theta r is theta I. It is 54.74 degrees. So, from Snell's laws, the angle of refraction can also be found theta t. We are calling it a refracting angle as theta t. Sometimes theta I and theta r, they are called as theta 1, whereas theta t is called as theta 2. So this is A. Now, incident wave. First we consider incident. Unit vector along incident wave direction is this part. Square root of 2x cap plus y cap by square root of 2 plus unit vector. So we want unit vector. It is obtained. Unit vector along magnetic field. From the expression of magnetic field, this can be obtained like this. Unit vector along electric vector is cross product of unit vectors along magnetic vector and propagation direction. Therefore, unit vector. The ratio of electric to magnetic field is 125, and hence electric field in the incident wave is quite simple. E by H equal to eta. Eta is of course root mu by epsilon. That is, within no time one can find out. B. Reflected wave is reflection quotient times incident wave using the given values epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 and obtained angles theta 1 54.74 degrees, theta 2 angle of refraction 24.1 degrees. These two we calculated just now. The reflection quotient can be obtained. This is the expression. Now theta 1 is available, theta 2 is available. Now reflection quotient is minus 0.52. Using incident wave direction, reflected wave direction can be written as, basic idea is just by reversing the component that is normal to reflecting surface in the vector, unit vector of incident wave propagation direction. On reflection, as parallel component gets reversed, the electric vector in the reflected wave becomes minus z. The value of phase shift constant remains same for reflected wave, hence electric field in the reflected wave becomes this one. Implementing these aspects, electric field in the reflected wave can be obtained. Transmitted wave is transmission quotient times incident wave. So therefore transmission quotient is this one. The direction of refracted wave is x cap cos 24.10 degrees plus y cap sin 24.10 degrees. And the unit vector along the refracted electric field is along z. The value of the phase shift constant for transmitted wave is 2 pi root epsilon or 2 by root 4, so 4 pi radians per meter. Hence transmitted wave field is, this is a transmitted wave field, electric field. So these are some of the things which I want to share with you regarding oblique incidence of a plane wave over the surface of a dielectric. Enough.